Hey, everybody. Hey. I hope y'all are doing well. Happy March 1st. Today is March 1st, 2025. They say this is the real new year. So, in essence, whether it's true or not, I'm just going to share it. Like today is the first day of 2025. So that's pretty exciting, the beginning of the new year, right? Well, I have, hold on one moment. Hello, way down at the, down. Okay, all right, bye. Okay, y'all, sorry about that. Sorry about that. So today's a beautiful Saturday morning. It's March 1st. It's the beginning of the spring. You know what spring brings. Spring brings everything back that you have planted into the seed, that you planted into the ground. Now is going to be the time where those things are coming up, springing forth, growing, right? So, this message that I'm sharing with you guys today is reconnecting the 12 DNA helixes. Welcome in. We love to have you. So, I want to tell you a little bit about reconnecting the 12 DNA helixes. But there is this story that says that we originally incarnated into this planet with 12 DNA helixes plugged in, meaning we had parts of our body that were intact, and there happened to be some invaders to come in and unplug 10 of those DNA helixes, meaning that, let's just say you have a coffee machine, a blender, you have 10 appliances in the kitchen and they're all plugged up. And whenever you need any of them, all you have to do is use it because it's already plugged up. For us, when there was an invasion, 10 of those DNA helixes were unplugged, leaving us without memories, leaving us without gifts and abilities that we had intact. But because they were unplugged, we couldn't access them. And because they were unplugged, we didn't know that they were unplugged. And so we could not access them. From the story that was shared, it was like going into the library and all of the books were in a pile in the middle of the library. So, how do you find the book that you're looking for? There's no real way. And this was done on purpose. Now that we have moved into the age of Aquarius, into 2025, this has been taking place since 2019, which was the end of the 400-year contract of us being in slavery. When I say us, I'm speaking of the indigenous people of the Americas. The Americas is where we originally came from. In my other videos in the past, I said that um, we were the winner when whoever wins the war shares the story. Okay, so we've been given a different story over the last 500 years because we were not the winners of the war for 400 years. It's in the Bible, Deuteronomy 28, if you're interested in learning about the blessings and the curses. We were under a curse for the last 400 years. It ended in 2019. In 2019, we have been processing ourselves out of the contract of the war. Thankfully, we're in 2025. This is the year of Jubilee. This is the year of freedom. This is the year that everything that has been stolen from us must be returned. And this is the end of an age as we know it. Now, understanding that this is the end of an age as we know it, we're going into a new age. And in order to go into the new age, you have to understand the new rules, the new way of beings, the new hierarchy. Okay. So this masterclass is a class that is going to share with you all how we reconnect the 10 other DNA helixes so that we can connect to our ancestral past, so that we can connect to the gifts, talents, and abilities of our ancestors and bring them into our current existence, right? Okay, because as I said, as I mentioned, over the last 400 years, ending in 2019, our ancestors were not able to bring their gifts, talents, and abilities to fruition, or to bring about the things that they were designed to create. So now is the time for us to reconnect ourselves. And in reconnecting ourselves, we have to reconnect to our past. We have to remember who we are. We've got to step into the future, because now that we have won this war, the second half, now we write the stories because we are the victors. Now, we're not going to just write our story like the oppressors have done and create lies and change the original order of the great mother goddess Isis. We are going back to who we are as humans, and we are evolving from that place. So, connecting the 12 DNA helixes will, in essence, plug things back in internally that will help us move forward. Because I mentioned in several different of my classes that we are living in the past, the present, and the future all at the same time. So when we're able to align our desires that are within us from the past and take action in the present, we are creating our future. So this week, I have received the channeled message of how we go about reconnecting our DNA helixes. And if any of this information, wonderful people, resonates with you, which those that it's supposed to resonate, it will resonate, and you will start incorporating these things into your life. But those that it does not resonate for, it will not resonate for, because these messages are only for particular people. That's why we're able to share them. It's a program. So if it resonates for you, this is a program that is calling you to include it in your daily life so that you can begin the evolutionary process. Okay. Also, if there's any information that I share, I ask that you like the video. And if there's enough information that I share, I ask that you would subscribe. Also, I'm on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and I believe that's it. Okay, so we're going to jump into number one. The first thing that you want to do to connect your DNA helixes. And also, I want to mention that sometimes you will be able to connect the steps to what will come about, but now we're being challenged to not connect anything from this point on and the future to anything from the past, because we've moved into a different age. We've moved into a different energy. So the way that we used to think won't work now. And this is how we're going to go about reprogramming our brain to line up with our heart, which is called heart brain coherence. When you find yourself in a situation, You want to use your heart and your brain and have those two in alignment. Then you can make the best decisions for your life moving forward. Thank you. Namaste. I appreciate the like. I appreciate you coming in here, and go ahead and grab paper and pen. Now, the number one way to reconnect your DNA helixes, connect with your soul tribe. What is your soul tribe? Your soul tribe are people that vibrate on your same frequency. You don't want to be around people that always are talking negative. You don't want to be around people that are always talking about other people. You don't want to be around people that constantly talk about things that bring the frequency and the vibration low, because that is the energy that you're going to be around. I've said this a couple of times that air is consciousness. And this is why it is important to do your affirmations. It's important to pray out loud. It's important to play good music, good high frequency music, to burn your sage, to burn your incense, because you are programming the air around you to be at a particular frequency. And so those ways that I just mentioned will program the air around you, because the air around you is consciousness. Okay. Now we are in a Merkaba. It's almost like it's a light body spaceship that surrounds you, 2 feet in front of you, 2 feet behind you, 2 feet to the left and the right, and 2 feet above and below you. That is the energetic auric field that you carry, where people see and feel who you are before they can really even see your face. You want to keep your Merkaba clean and free from any low vibratory energy. When people say things like just rude stuff to you, they're trying to penetrate your force field so that they can pull out that good high vibrational energy. But when you understand what you're working with, when you understand that you are a physical body, right, with a light body that's 2 feet around you, and then other bodies outside of that light body that can connect to you, or if you have your protections up, they are not able to connect with you. We are moving into we are in a very spiritual world. And now the challenge is moving from where people have been very physically inclined to being spiritually inclined. Okay. For the people that come to my page, you know, my frequency is high, and everybody won't be able to accept that frequency, because the low vibratory frequency energy in them will cause them to lash out. It would cause them a trigger, which it's not a good thing if you want to change, because it will trigger you and you'll be able to tell what is it that you need to work through within your Merkaba and your physical body. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So, number one, reconnect with your soul tribe and remove everyone with lower frequency. When you're connecting to my page and other pages like this and reading books like this, you are connecting with your soul tribe. Initially, it'll just be you. But the more energy you put into um, cleansing the frequency around you, then other soul tribe members will be able to see you. It's a light. So when we first come into spirituality in this fashion, not religion, but spirituality, we have darkness around us. We have darkness in our Merkaba. We still have darkness in our thought process. And it is a process of working our way out of the darkness into the light. It is constantly being aware that I have the ability to change the energetic field around me. And that is through playing high vibratory music, speaking words of affirmation, lighting your sage, lighting your incense, things of that nature. You want to change the frequency of your environment. Step two, number two, turn your past, turn from your past to pursue something brand new. Remember, have your paper and pen, write these things down because this will be your blueprint to raising your frequency and to evolving where you have not been able to do so in the past. Now, I don't come from just reading books. I come from real life experience, having come from the bottom and having to work my way up energetically. Typically, it comes from a dark night of the soul. It's when your soul goes through darkness. Everything that you've experienced in the past no longer um, has the same effect on you. You can feel that it is old, that it's outdated, that it is heavy, and that it no longer serves your highest and greatest good. And your spirit, your soul is calling for greater. So now is the time to decide, what do you want in your highest timeline? In the highest timeline that you can imagine, what is it that you want? What type of lifestyle would you be living? Where would you be living? Who would you be living with? What type of foods would you eat? How would you give back to humanity? How would you give back to your family? In your highest timeline, what would you be doing? This is what I'm here for. I'm here to help you reach your highest timeline through spiritual techniques, through raising your consciousness, through knowledge. Our people perish for the lack of knowledge. The knowledge is here, it is being shared, and it is plentiful. Now, the goal is to connect with those that speak to your soul, that speak to your heart, that speak to your mind for evolution. If that's not me, that's fine. But my desire is for everyone that comes into the sound of my voice to receive something that will unlock an inner chamber so that you can continue to evolve into your highest and greatest good. That's my purpose. That is my purpose for being. And I came in here understanding and knowing that purpose, but I had a double mission. Is first I had to break free and walk through the inner chambers and unlock the locks that said, no, you can't go this far. No, you can't think like that. No, you can't do that because you're a Black woman. Or no, you can't do that because you're a woman. No, you can't do that because they don't approve of that. You have to unlock the inner chambers within. And you can't just do it with physical things. This is a process of mutation, transmutation, going from a caterpillar to a butterfly. What do you think the caterpillar is doing when it's in the cocoon? It's going through the inner process of change. And it's not comfortable because you are in a very small cocoon. There's not a lot of goodies in there. There's not a lot of people in there. There's not a lot of things that will give you that physical pleasure that we have been accustomed to. This is when we take the opportunity, because it is an opportunity. It will not always come around. These are planetary alignments that give us the opportunity to become more than who we are. And we have to yield. We don't have to. If we choose to, we get the ability, we get the help from the universe and going through our transformation. Welcome in, welcome in. Where are you from? Drop a link. Drop a city, drop a emoji, drop something to let me know that you are here and you are not a robot. Okay. So, number two, what would you like to see as your highest timeline? I know that because of the time that we're in, people are kind of at their end, at the end of their rope, like, now what? What's next? Hey, hey, you are always on it. You are always on it. What is next? We want to reach for our highest timeline. We don't want to, I understand that the process takes step by step, but what is your highest timeline? What is it? Is it um, to reach a certain financial goal? Is it to reach a certain career aspiration? Is it to reach, to find out what your purpose is? Is it to experience life at a higher frequency? Is it to meet people that are on your same frequency? What is your greatest, highest timeline? When you think of yourself, we're in 2025, and let's just say you have the opportunity to go as high as you can go, as high as your mind will allow you to go. Where would your mind go now? Now that you have the idea in your mind, I want you to take it 10 times further. That's how we're going to push our consciousness outside of where we are at this time. I'm at the middle timeline currently because I'm taking my time living a soft life before starting a business. And that's great. That's perfect. And during during this downtime, this is when you use your consciousness to decide, where is my highest timeline? Where is it when I was a little girl? What did I want? Once you figure that out, take it 10 times further, because now is the time to think big. Now is the time of miracles. We're in the golden age. So where is it? Yes, ma'am. That's a good thing. That downtime. So you don't have to put the pressure on yourself. You can enjoy thinking, what is it I would be doing at this time? Fast forward 5 years from now, right? And I can see what I'm thinking. I can see it. Now, I want to push that out 10 times more. That's where we're going, to the biggest picture that we can. And be sure to write these things down. Okay. Number 3, there are going to be a lot of decisions that you're going to have to make at this time. I mean, a lot. You're going to have to make the decisions of who the people are that you're going to keep around you, who the people are that you're going to end the relationships. I want to put a caveat in here. The relationships don't have to end bad. You can just go a different way and allow the energetic fields between you and who you're leaving just to evaporate, right? These are very, very particular keys to unlocking your next step. Because if you keep just one person around and your next step of the journey requires no people that have low vibratory energies, it will keep you from going to the next phase. So everybody matters. If these people call you, if these people text you, if they just stop by your house, you have to determine, what is their energy frequency and does it match to where I'm going? If it doesn't match to where you're going, just allow those connections to drop. Because I'm not sure if you've heard, but sometimes, and this is a lot of times, the Most High will not allow those next opportunities to come when you're connected to the wrong people, because the wrong people will cause you to lose that connection or not get it in the first place. It will keep you in a loop, because we're being challenged now to recognize what the energies are that are around us. Who are the energetic people that are around us? What energy do they bring to us? Because as I mentioned on every occasion, it is always the people we know that keep us stuck in a loop. Always. Other people that are outside of us cannot do this. Okay. There's going to be a lot of decisions, and what friends you have, what family you have, what foods you eat, what type of exercise you take place you do, what kind of home you live in, what kind of car. Do you need to downsize? That's going to be one of the things as well. Do you need to downsize your car? This is moving from, it's like we're in the void, going from the old life here is on the left, right in the middle is the void, and the new life is on the right. We're in the void. So in the void, we need to do a lot of house cleaning. We need to decide, is it time to clean out the closet and get rid of things that I never wear anyway? It is about downsizing physically what's all around us. People, places, things, mindset, ideas that no longer serve us. It's time to let those go. So when the time comes and you're going to have to make a lot of decisions, the best way to move forward is to already know you're going to have to let a lot of things go and already have a map of things that you're going to let go. So when the things start falling off, you won't be surprised. Sometimes in life, when life happens and something comes out of the blue, we stop. We want to just pause now and move forward as opposed to just completely stopping, because this is a journey. It is, if you have ever read your Bible, and I always go back to the Bible because that was my original way of discipline in a religious way, which also turned into my spiritual journey, because I learned some very foundational um, tools from there. So that was my beginning, and it evolved from there. So with the Bible, I will always use Bible verses. Okay, let's see. Number 4, you have to walk away. And I say you have to, but everybody has free will. This is what's most important. There are several realms, dimensions, and timelines of hierarchy that we have not known about up until this present time. Some of us have, most of us haven't. As far as worldwide, people have not known that there are life forms that are above us. Of course, there's the Most High God, but there's still other hierarchies. Where do you think the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine comes from? This is the physical protection of the United States. There's also spiritual protectors of the world that are in different, they're spiritual, so we can't see them. They're all around us right now, but we just can't see them. Our eyes are not, one of the DNA helixes is not plugged up, so we can't see them. Sometimes people can because they've plugged up their DNA helixes. This is where we're moving to so that we can interact with the spiritual realm like we interact with the physical realm. Like if I'm talking to my boo, right? And I can see him in the physical realm. There is also the ability to talk with my grandmother in the spiritual realm. And if I have all 12 DNA helixes plugged in, I may even be able to see her light body. This is the purpose for what we're doing. We want to plug in our ancestral abilities. And this is now the time to do that. Okay. Walk away from anything that can derail you from your journey. Like, for instance, the only thing that comes up in my mind, not because I'm perfect or anything, is because I've been on this journey for a while and I've let things go. But I've never been a drinker. I really don't like to drink. I would socially drink one drink, maybe one and a half. But it doesn't bring me anything. So I just decided that's not my jam. So I'm not going to even play with it. Why just mess with it when it's really not my jam? So I just walk away from that. Now, if I'm out and there's a glass of wine and I feel like I want a glass of wine, I will drink a glass of wine. Walking away from anything that will derail your journey. Let's say a relationship that you've had in the past and it did not work out. If it didn't work out up until this point, 2025, it's not going to work out. So some people get with people from the past so they don't have to be by themselves. But that's something that you don't want to do anymore. Because, like I said, the closest people to you are the ones that can injure you the most on your journey, on your spiritual journey. It is a journey. It is a lot. I liken it to when Moses, he was a part of the royal family, and he realized that this was not his real family. And so he went on his 40-year journey. This is where we are. We're in the wilderness. Those who choose to go on the spiritual journey will find themselves in the wilderness alone a lot of times. But when you're able to find yourself in the journey, then you've done what you set out to do. That was the whole purpose. That was the purpose. Because it was slavery back in the back there where we came from. Some type of way we were under a yoke of bondage, whether it was from our family, whether it was from our lovers, whether it was from the systems that be. There was something that was keeping us bound to something that was not healthy. Right. Yes, yes, and yes. Army equals earth. Air Force equals air, Navy, water, fire, space, and the erythral planes. Thank you for sharing that, Key, at 11:22. In alignment. That's alignment. So walk away from anything that does not connect you with your highest purpose. And this is stepping away from what's familiar. It can be very scary to step out of something old into something new. But I'm here to tell you, this is the time to do it because so many people are doing it. And you don't want to be stuck in the loop. Not changing is what keeps us stuck in the past. These are like openings in the energetic fields around us that we can step outside the loop and not experience what we've experienced in the past. And that's what we're being called to do, to start something new so that we are no longer in the old loop of the same old thing. Just take a jump, just take a leap. I'm not saying it will be easy, but I am saying it is so worth it. Okay. Number 5, commit to create a new, beautiful life. And that's what I was saying earlier. Like, what is it you want? Where do you want to live? Where do you want to live in the same city, or do you want to move to another state? Do you want to move to another country? Do you want to live in a high rise, or do you want to live on a farm? Do you want to live in a house? Do you want to live in the country, or do you want to live in the city? Like, how do you want to cook? Do you want to cook high vibratory food from your own garden? Do you want to go to farmers markets in the area to cook the best quality foods for you and your family? Globe trot. I heard that. I know that's right. So that means that you want to set up a life that will allow you to globetrot. You want to set up a life that will allow you to continually pay you while you are doing that. We are creating the blueprint for our highest timeline to be able to live our highest timeline. And if you're by yourself now, when you begin creating this new higher timeline, those that are on the same frequency will join you on the journey. It's almost like the Wizard of Oz. As you go down that yellow brick road of the golden age, you're going to meet those that have the same frequency. And oh, how great it is to meet those that are like you, that you no longer have to be amongst people that don't have the same frequency as you. And when you don't have that same frequency, people are afraid of what they don't understand, so they want to attack it. They want to eliminate it because they don't understand it. And so when we understand this, we allow them to have their experience, and we create a new, different experience at a much higher frequency than we've come from. Commit to create a beautiful life. When you wake up in the morning, are you able to see a beautiful ocean? When you wake up in the morning, are you next to your bay? When you wake up in the morning, do you spend a little quiet time drinking your coffee, sitting on the porch, and just having your own time to yourself before the day gets started? What is it you want? Let's get clear and really, really, really hone in on what will make my heart sing. Number 6, balance every area of your life. Pay back who you owe. Just make sure everything is balanced. When you're dealing with people and people piss you off, sometimes just let it go, because you don't want to have to go back to balance out a situation that you let get out of hand. Sometimes you may have to speak up for yourself, and sometimes you can just simply walk away. But keep your life in balance. Keep your physical environment in balance, clean most of the time, not junky and have a lot of hoarding and a lot of trash and a lot of unnecessary things in your environment, because this also has a connection of a frequency. If it's something that you don't need anymore, let it go. Clean up your physical environment. Clean up your mind space. Do you have road rage and always getting mad at people? I know these things are little things, but the goal is, not all of them are little things, but the goal is to balance out your life so that when the time comes, you don't owe anybody anything. That's a sovereign being. I don't owe you anything. And if you stole from me, I'm definitely calling it into judgment so that I can get back what you've stolen from me. Right? Live a life of balance. Don't go too far to the right, being super nice and light and love, but don't go too far to the left where you hell bound and raising hell everywhere you go. Basically, it's live a good life. And when somebody get out of line, then you go all the way left. That's balance. It's balance. You got to give people both sides of you so that they understand that this is a very nice person, but if I cross a line, there is a definite price to pay. So when you choose to go left, it is a conscious decision that this person needs to understand something, and I'm their teacher in this area. because they've crossed the lines, they crossed my boundaries. Balance, balance. Number 7, reevaluate your life. Where did you take the wrong turn? What year did you take the wrong turn? What person did you gamble on that was the wrong person? What thought process did you have that really didn't serve you? What family members put you on the wrong road? What family members put you on the right road? What friends were there but never present? What relationship was there but never gave? What past situation has held me back and put a blockage within my auric field in my inner chambers? What did they do to me that I have not been able to forgive or to make peace with because I learned a lesson in it? Nobody can ever do anything to you unless you allow them. So if somebody does something to you, find the lesson that you need to learn so that you'll never repeat that again. And then it goes from a negative thing to a positive thing. What is the lesson I needed to learn in not being protected as a child, as a young lady, as a woman? What lesson did I learn in that? Maybe the lesson was to teach you trusting your intuition, independence. What lesson did I learn in connecting with the wrong people? More intuition, tuning, or trusting your intuition? What is the lesson that I need to learn in connecting with the wrong job where it didn't bring me anything, but I still worked there for years? Getting to know myself, getting to know what my gifts and talents are so that I can utilize those and so that I can create the type of lifestyle that I want. Reevaluate your life. Look at the years. Look at the years that you had a good life. What were you doing? Were you reading books? Were you getting up early and praying? Did you have rituals? Did you have routines? Were you exercising? What were the good years? What were the challenging years? Who were in those challenging years? Who was in those good years? Do I need to apologize to anybody? Do I need to make something right? This weekend would be a good time to do that, by the way. So, in essence, what we're doing is we're transforming energy from something of a low vibrational frequency into something of a higher vibrational frequency. We have the ability to do that. Number 8, after consideration of your heart's desires, this is where you're going to create the plan to get there. What are you going to commit to daily? What are you going to let go of? What are you going to grab a hold of? What puts me in a place of passion? What makes my heart sing? What makes me happy? What makes me get into a passionate, energetic feel? Because when I'm working, that's the field I want to be in because that is the energy I'm sending out to the universe. And that is the energy the universe must send back to me because it is law. It's law. So whatever I'm going to spend 8 to 10 to 12 hours a day, welcome in, doing, I want to do it in the energy of passion because I want to send passion out into the universe. So baby, that passion can come back to me. We're now we're in the spiritual realm where we are intentionally creating from within. And so as we create from it within, we're moving and unlocking locks that have been locked for years, not for only ourselves, but for our ancestors. They're wanting to utilize you to create what they were not able to create, which turns out to be your innate gifts and talents as well. So you won't have to go about learning nothing new. You'll be remembering what's already in you. Number 9, connect with your feelings. Do your best to live at peace with everyone. Make this a practice because the feeling is what navigates your way through the inner gates. It'll let you know, oh, there's a blockage there. I'm having trouble um, finding passion. Okay, there's a blockage in the area of passion. So, what do you do when I can't find my passion? I don't know what I want to do. This is just a little skit, y'all. I don't know what I want to do. I can't find my passion. What do I do to find my passion? The first thing is to think about when you were little. What did you want to do? What did you want to be? Who did you believe you were when you were little? And pick things up like that. For instance, let's say um, when you were little, you enjoyed, I'm going to say this. When I was little, I enjoyed doing yoga, and I did not know that's what I was doing. I would do the fish flop. I would put my fingers a certain way. I would do things with my body, but I didn't know why I did them until recently because I look back on my life to remember what was I doing when I was little? What we're wanting to engage our mind with the past to remember. And so I know a lot of times people say, well, I don't even remember when I was a kid. Remember those little small times, even how small they were. Remember those times, and then more times will start kicking in. So I used to do this fish flop where I would be on my stomach, and then I would put my toes to my head, and I would go back like that. I do that all the time. I had no idea that was yoga. So I reconnect with that because something in that was in my blood. And that's something that I need to work out old energy in my body. This is how we go about remembering. When I was little, once I get water on my hands, I would close my hands, put my thumbs inside of my fingers. That's a yoga pose. That's a yoga pose. I did these things. Now I was remembering, but I wasn't able to put them together until I got grown. This is something that helps me move out of old energy. It moves it out of my body because we've got to move. We've got to find some kind of exercise routine that we enjoy so that we can move those old dead cells out of our bloodstream, out of our skin, out of our body. We got to let that stuff go. Find you a routine that you enjoy, whether it's running outside, whether it's going to the gym, whether it's swimming, whether it's tennis, soccer. Find what you love to do to get out that old dead energy. What was the last number I was on? Number 9. Connect with your feelings. You want to connect with your feelings. Connect with your passion. Connect with things that make your heart sing that you love, right? I know someone that loves to cook, and when he cooks, he's in his zone, and it's enjoyable to watch him in his zone. And it's even more enjoyable to eat what he cooked while he was in his zone because you get to eat the passion and the enjoyment of him cooking because this is what he's infusing in his food while he's cooking, right? Number 10, rest when you need to rest. When your body don't have nothing to give, rest. This is when you can read a book about raising your consciousness or read a book about anything that you want to learn about. but you get to rest your body, but you're still engaging your mind, or listen to videos and still just kind of lay back and rest, but you're still feeding your soul good food. That's soul food. Number 11, moderation, cooperation. Check your body for the feelings that are not in alignment, that don't keep. If you feel something that's out of alignment, your body, ideally, at all times, your body should have peace. From the soles of your feet to the crown of your head, you should feel peace and a vibration and a harmony that goes out into the world, because that is what you want to come back to you. We are magnetic energy bodies. And if you are in a frenzy, a tizzy, a tantrum, that is the energy you're sending out into the universe, and that is the energy that is coming back to you. So now, in essence, what we're doing is we're exercising our inner demons. It's normal. Unfortunately, it's natural. But fortunately, it's the polarities within us. We have good and we have bad. We have high frequency and low frequency. The goal is to balance them out, because in the shadows is where it's going to set you free, in the darkness. Don't be afraid to go into the darkness. Don't be afraid to go to your childhood and confront the things that cause you inner blockages. Let fear go. Fear is the false evidence appearing real. Go into the darkness, because that's where you will find the light. You can't find light in light because it's already light. The darkness is where you go to create. Again, that's why the caterpillar is in the cocoon before it becomes the beautiful butterfly. It's in darkness. You must go into the darkness to find out what is going on around you that you don't know about. And who am I in the darkness? Who do I decide to be? Who am I going to be when I come out of this cocoon? What message do I have for humanity? What message do I have for my family? What am I willing to do to reach this highest timeline? What questions do y'all have? Drop an emoji, drop something. Number 12, follow after ideas, passions, gifts with curiosity. Whatever you've had a passion for or a curiosity for, follow after it. It may just be a stepping stone. You'll learn a little bit about it, and then it opens the door for a new passion. So you follow that one. It is your guidepost to how you need to navigate internally. Dive deep into what it is you want to study about. For me, I learned that consciousness, quantum healing, quantum jumping of timelines, quantum healing, energetic, that's where I found what I love. And so I immerse myself in that energetic field so that the things around me line up with the frequency that I've immersed myself in. And the people that are in that same frequency, we are magnetically drawn to one another. Beautiful. Cool. Taking notes. When you dig deeper and when you dive deeper into the things that you love and you submerge yourself in them to understand, why does it do this and how come it does that? And I don't understand this and I don't understand that. And let me research this and let me study this and let me test this out. That's when you become a scientist of your own making. You become your own programmer. You become your own guide. Not saying that there is not a God, because there is the Most High God, but you become the God of your life as opposed to the government telling you what to do and how to do it and when to do it and what time to do it, or your job telling you be here at this time, you take a break at this time, you go to lunch at this time, you get off at this time. You become the organizing principle of your life as opposed to something outside of you. To live the life on your terms and in love. And this is not a in love of someone on the outside of you. This is in love of you, because you have become the master of your life. And Key, you're in a really good position because you've created an opportunity for you to be able to live as such. Now you can create to your heart's desire because you have your needs met. Now it's all about creating until you create your highest timeline, which is Jacob's ladder. Go ahead and give us a like if we're sharing anything in here that you like, or if it's going to help you in your life. If you do incorporate these modalities, it will change your life, and it will change your life for the better. But I have to say that there are times when we have mental blocks that we're not able to get through on our own. If you're in a situation like this, you can book. Yes, that is great. That sounds like a beautiful Saturday morning. I used to do the same. I love that. I remember Soul Train. I remember Schoolhouse Rock. That was so much fun. And so that would be a good idea if you don't have a bike. Get you a bike. Or I don't know what state you live in, they have bikes that you can rent and go for a bike ride. That is so exceptionally free. It gives you so much freedom, and it puts you in the energy of a child. In the Bible, it says we want to be as children. We get to create our new, brand new life with the experience of an adult, with the experience of creating financial income for yourself since you're retired. And now you get to live as a child, creating your life from this point moving forward. That's a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing to be able to do. And if you're having trouble cultivating that love, turn on some of that music, the music from the Up from Soul Train. Get up and dance around the house. Light your incense. Clean up in the morning like we used to do, and just get back into that energy and releasing. When you dance, that's a good exercise to release that old energy. This is the time, and especially today because it's a new moon, to really get concrete on what it is you want in your highest timeline. From this point on to the next 3 days, the moon's energy is here to help you reach that highest timeline. Find out what it is you want and go after it. And if you have inner blockages, I'm able to help you through those. You just emailed me at chemistry2332@gmail.com. This is it. This is how we start reconnecting with the 12 DNA helixes that were unplugged when the invaders came in. Now we're doing our due diligence to get them plugged back in. And when we get to a certain point, the Most High God steps in and does a great work within us that we didn't even know was coming. We thought we were just going to get what we put in, but that's not the God that we serve. Our God multiplies what we do. So even if we can incorporate one or two or three or four or all 12 of these, we're creating a whole new life based off of what it is our highest desires are. Not what my job says I have to do, not what the government says I have to do, not what my mother or father says I have to do, but what I have chosen to do. I'm creating a new life for myself. And sometimes it is absolutely the most exhilarating experience. And then sometimes it's very difficult. But that's part of the polarities of life. And you ride that out just as if it were the greatest of times, because you learn those lessons in the most difficult times. All right, y'all. If y'all don't have any other questions, that is going to wrap it up for this morning. These are 12 steps that I channeled and that were given to me not one, but two times, of reconnecting the DNA helixes within your physical and spiritual bodies. All right, my loves, until the next time, namaste.